May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and it is okay to not feel okay. Hello and welcome. If you are new to my page and don't know who I am or what I do, my name is Bill Reed, and I help special needs advocates avoid burnout or let me start over. I help special needs advocates increase mental fitness and avoid burnout using natural solutions. So, as you're watching, if you're watching live, please go ahead and drop live down in the comments. If you're catching the replay, go ahead and drop hashtag replay in the comments and let us know who you are and where you're coming in from. And if you have any questions or comments during the live, please feel free to drop those in the comments. And if we can get to them during the live, we certainly will. If not, then we will circle back around on the replay and get to them there. So, as you guys can see, I am joined by three very special guests that I am honored and humbled to call my dear friends and business partners. They are Jeff Berger, Mike Gostola, and Steve Fillmore. Guys, not only do I want to welcome you on this live with me, but I also want to thank you for taking the time to come on. It's very, very much appreciated. So, with that being said, we'll go one by one. If you guys want to just unmute quickly and just give a brief overview, maybe 1 to 2 minutes of who you are and what you do. Jeff, we'll start with you, then we'll go to Mike, and then Steve.
Great. Thanks, Billy, for having us on. It's really an honor and to share this moment with four guys here. So my name is Jeff Berger. I live in Cape Coral. I am a certified holistic wellness coach with a concentration on the microbiome, which is the gut-brain-heart axis, which we'll be talking about tonight, a science that's disrupting the health and wellness industry. And I truly believe that mental fitness is the new physical health. And my vision is that we are out here with a mission. And the mission is to lead the global holistic mental wellness revolution, letting people know that there are solutions that are out there that are safe and work. And our vision is to help as many people as we can with the information that we have, directing them, and then hopefully they will resonate and be informed so they can make some educated decisions on making some other choices for those that are really looking and those that are really sick and tired of being sick and tired, which was me at that point before I found this amazing product line and this amazing mission. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Billy, for having us here. We're super honored to be here with you and share this story and to be with Steve and Jeff. Myself, I'm an entrepreneur, been serial entrepreneur my whole life. And I went from in construction to digital marketing and focusing on mental health and wellness and primarily in the holistic field. So it's been a really interesting journey going through. I came from, like I said, construction where it was suck it up, buttercup, you're okay, show up for work with a smile on your face and don't talk to anybody about your problems, because if you did, you had other problems. So that was the world that I was used to being in. So to start to be exposed to people like yourself, Jeff and Steve, and to see that, you know what, it is okay to not be okay. And it's okay to share it. And it's okay to ask for help. And that's what I'm super excited to be a part of this movement, is because we are offering like real solutions that are making meaningful changes in people's lives. And it's not Band-Aid Band-Aid fixes. We are fixing things at the root, not only with amazing products, but with a community that is fully supportive and helping people really break the stigma of what has been, kind of a taboo subject for men to speak about for so long. So super honored to be here. Thank you so much.
All right. Hey, and yes, thank you, Billy, for putting this together and being able to have a open conversation with all these guys here. So I am Steve Fillmore. I'm out of here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I had recently retired from a 25-year airline career from being a flight attendant. And my mission is actually back in 2013, 2014, I had a run-in with the big C, cancer. I had testicular cancer. Had it twice, went through the craziness of chemotherapy, 8 hours a day doing chemotherapy, and experiencing the ups and downs, and a lot of mental stress, a lot of financial stress, and with all that comes with a lot of craziness. But during that 2-year experience with the cancer, I got onto a journey learning about the body, my human body, and became a holistic wellness coach. And what really got me after having chemotherapy, the post chemo, was focusing on my gut health. I share real quickly. During chemotherapy, I was craving jars of sauerkraut, and people would say, like, Steve, are you pregnant? It's like, no, I'm not pregnant. I just need to rebuild my gut. So my mission is to help those going through cancer and the caregivers that are with those people going through cancer, and helping them navigate through the cancer journey, but also focusing on nutrition and gut health. So thank you.
Of course, guys, and again, just a deep thank you for you guys to come on. So, to our viewers, in case you haven't guessed it yet, we are going to have a bit of a roundtable discussion, and my whole point of organizing this is to try and help our viewers understand that it's not just women who go through some kind of mental illness issue or mental wellness issue. It's men too, and while it may be different in some ways, we're just trying to show here that we are in fact human as well, and we're trying to break down that wall that men are perceived as these big strong people who just put their issues on the back burner, if you know what I mean. So we will be briefly sharing each of our stories. We're going to start with Jeff, then we're going to go over to Mike, Steve, and then we'll finish with myself. And if we have time at the end, if there are any questions, we will certainly address those. And if we can't get to those during the live, we'll certainly circle back around and get to those on the replay. So, Jeff, I will hand it off to you.
Great. Thanks, Billy. I'm getting dinged here, and I'm trying to shut off all of my Facebook pages in the other browsers here. But yeah, so my background is that I was in corporate America for 26 years as a software engineer, and I basically left in August 15th was my exit day from corporate America from complete burnout. The last 5 to 6 months, I was on a disability and was involved with a toxic environment, and it just compiled on top of my already existing autoimmune issues that I was dealing with, which was type 2 diabetes. At that time, I was considered obese at 225 pounds for my doctor, and I was on 5 pharmaceuticals. So I left that because I needed a change. I wanted to really do something different. I wanted to do something that had more meaning and was something that would make an impact. And working in corporate America was not doing it for me. Although I loved what I did early on, as the years went on, it got to be worse and was working 6-7 days a week. So I had basically no life. So leaving corporate America, I was on a new journey, searching, looking, going back and forth for the first 2 years. And I moved down to Florida. I'm down here with my husband and my kids. I got a dog and 2 cats, Zoe, Zorro, and Zelda. And I was introduced to the Holistic Chamber of Commerce, which really opened my eyes to a different mode of understanding of different modalities and different alternative options that I kind of heard about in previous years. But, I come from a family with medical professionals, so it was like, believe the medical professionals. So that opened up Pandora's box, and I had gone to a doctor down here that I'd signed up with and was with her for about 6 months. She wanted to put me on a 6th medication. And I'm like, why do I have to go on a 6th medication? Well, you're having problems from the other 5. So I was like, wait a minute. So if I go on the 6th, who's to say that this 6th one is not going to have complications. So I said no, absolutely no. That was the day I made the decision to take control of my health and really understand what is important to me, physically, mentally, and emotionally. So that really started the journey. And to make a longer story short, I basically was introduced to the only holistic mental wellness company that actually focuses on the microbiome, which is the root cause of pretty much all disease that's out there today. So with that, I jumped on board. I was a little hesitant in the beginning, but I did jump on board, leaving my options open for information because it gave me a different sense of what's really out there and understanding the significance of this amazing system that we have inside of us and how it plays with our physical and our mental wellness. And over the next 9 months after getting started, fortunately, I was able to reverse my type 2 diabetes, lose 60 pounds, come off of 5 medications, as well as reduce decades of stress and anxiety at a 10 plus down to a level 1 with absolutely no depression whatsoever. I do have a background where I was chemically dependent. I'm a 2-time survivor of attempted suicides, and I was actually molested as a young teenager. So that's part of my journey and part of my story of that roller coaster ride of life, which many of us have in different variations and story plots. But to be able to today to say that where I'm at today, having stress resilience and being able to control and evaluate stress, anxiety, and depression. Well, depression I don't have. But to be able to analyze anxiety and depression rather than react, that I was a reactor, and that's priceless. You can't put a price tag on it. I weigh out between the diabetes and the anxiety and the stress, and I'm proud of reversing the diabetes. I still have lots of things I'm working on. It's a lifestyle change, a lifestyle journey, but the stress resilience is key, I think, to everybody's life, to be able to understand that and be able to, take that and embrace it and understand it, to be able to live. My business is abundance and optimum wellness. I believe we all should be living in abundance and optimum wellness, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. So with that, that is my story. It's a ongoing saga, and I'm excited to see what the future has to hold. After I came off my 5 meds, my doctor kicked me out of her office, and I sought out a new doctor. And in January, went to the new doctor, and he looked up my history, and he said, whatever you're doing, keep doing what you're doing, because you're in the best health that you've been in over 30 years. So I walked out with a big smile. So we're doing something right. I want to share that. I want to pay it forward, because damn it, there can be changes, significant changes made to the world, and that's what we're here for, to share that. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much for sharing. Mike, it's up to you.
All right. So yeah, like I mentioned, I've been an entrepreneur basically since the day I left high school. I went straight into business ownership with friends the day I left high school. Since that day, I've ran multiple businesses, ranging from retail, started in snowboarding and skateboarding, retail, and evolved into construction, and then evolved into manufacturing. Over those years, being a business owner, being an entrepreneur, stress and anxiety was something that was coming at me from every single angle. Financial stress was one of the hugest things, because as a business owner, typically, if you're a respectful business owner, you're the last one to get paid, because you make sure your employees get paid. So financial stress became a huge factor in my life. We watched, we went from doing literally millions of dollars of business a year to struggling to keep the lights on in our business as economy shifted. So things really started to pile up for me. And I started reaching out because I could tell something was wrong. I made the initial mistake of going to Dr. Google. Dr. Google told me I had a host of problems and I was going to die. So I was like, okay, I need to make some changes here. So I started reaching out. I went and saw a psychologist. I went and I did the Tony Robbins stuff. I did all the type of stuff that, you know, I thought would help me break through these challenges that I was having. I was driving to work in the morning and saying, okay, if I hit that approach fast enough, that'll end it. That'll be how I can go. And daily, that was my process, figuring out how can I just not show up anymore. Same as Jeffrey, suicidal and wanting to literally check out, not really understanding what was going on in my body. And same as Jeffrey, I started reaching out. I went to my doctor, and sure enough, what did my doctor want to do? They wanted to put me on a bunch of pills. My whole life, I've been an anti-pill person. I've never enjoyed taking them. I've had a lot of back pain over the years. And every time my doctors put me on anything, it was brain fog. It was feeling disconnected from myself. It was not feeling how I wanted to feel. And it was simply just a Band-Aid that really wasn't fixing anything. So I didn't want to go down the same road with my mental health. I never really understood mental health either, because I was, like I said, in construction, it's suck it up, buttercup. We're tough men. We show up, we do the work. We go home, we deal with it. It's have a beer, have a joint, whatever it was, right? Something to take away that edge. And that's when I was discovered or introduced by some good friends, and actually following Jeff's story as well through these friends of what the power of the microbiome is and how our brain is actually connected to our gut. When I was first told about it, I was like, that is the biggest load of woo-woo bullshit I have ever heard. Like, how can I possibly fix what's going on in my head by working on my gut? I didn't believe it. But at that point, I really had nothing to lose. I had tried everything else. I was in a miserable state. I had everything going, really. Like, I'm blessed with the most amazing family, the most amazing friends, everything. But I could not put a smile on my face. Activities that I loved for years. Like, I've been snowboarding for 28 years. One of my buddies, I've been snowboarding with him for literally that many years. And I would just be like, yeah, you know, man, I don't want to go. I'm not feeling it. I couldn't get the energy to do the things that I loved. So I started diving into this gut-brain axis and exploring the products. And like Jeffrey, went into it with an open mind, saying, you know what, I've tried everything else. What do I have to lose? And the changes have absolutely been mind-boggling. My ability to deal with stress, it was like, I think we're going to see a theme here as we talk to all of these men. Our stress and our anxiety, our mental issues may have been rooted in different situations, but as men, we typically tend to react to them in a reactive and aggressive sense. And that's what I was. Everything I was 0 to 100. If it was with my wife, if it was with my kids, if it was with my employees, all these things. So I started diving in, like I said, to the gut-brain axis and testing out these holistic products. And it was literally like a short period. Like, within 2 weeks, I could start feeling a difference. Within a month, I was like, something is really shifting in my body. 2 months later, I couldn't believe, like, my panic attacks were gone. My energy had increased, my brain fog, my focus, everything started to shift. And what the best part was there was no pills involved. It was fixing the problem from the root. And since then, our formulator of these amazing products shared something that really stuck with me. Is like, you will continue to feel better and better and better. And I think everybody on this panel here today can contest to that as you dial in your gut microbiome and as you start to really optimize the gut-brain axis, you do start to feel better and better and better. And it's mind-blowing because it continues. I'm 2 years into using these products and I continue to feel better. I show up better. I wake up feeling better. And I can't imagine my life without it. So just really blessed to have found this and to have the ability to bring this to the world, because it's something that most people aren't aware of. The science is really new of the gut-brain axis. We're talking 10, 12 years that they've just started discovering it. But over the last couple of years, the breakthroughs that are coming are just mind-boggling. So it's just really encouraging, and it's encouraging to see more and more men stepping up and sharing their story, being vulnerable and being willing to, just express that, like you said, Billy, it's okay not to be okay, but there is solutions out there that can make all the difference in the world. So thanks again for having us.
Of course. Thank you, Mike. Thank you so much for sharing that such inspirational story. Steve, it's up to you.
All right. God, where do I start? You know what? Let me start it with my airline career. So I was a flight attendant for 25 years, and back in 2013, it was time to get the annual physical at the doctors, and so I went into the doctors and shared with my doctor. It's like, hey, I've been experiencing some groin pain. I ignored the groin pain for 6 months. I was thinking, it's like, hey, I'm a guy. I'll just pop an aspirin. The pain will go away if I'm doing too much squats, at the gym, whatever. And so yeah, I went to the doctors, and the doc took a look at it. So he examined my right testicle, and he found a lump. He said, you know what? Let's just take some precautions. We'll do a blood test and we'll do an ultrasound. So did the blood test. And the blood test confirmed that there was signs of cancer. And it's like, when I heard the cancer word, I freaking freaked out. It's like, what the hell's going on? So my whole world was turned upside down. Went to get the ultrasound, and the ultrasound confirmed that sure enough, there was a sizable mass on my right testicle, which was uncomfortable hearing. And as a guy, it's like, us guys really don't share to the world, oh yeah, I got something's going on with my testicle, so I felt embarrassed. I felt, who do I talk to, besides my doctor? So speed up, went to surgery, had an orchidectomy, and they took out the cancerous testicle, and and then my doctor recommended going through one round of chemotherapy. And then when I heard the word chemotherapy, I freaked out again, because in my mind, chemotherapy, I envisioned what was on the internet. You're bald, you're all pale white, you're sick all the time. And I didn't want to go through that. So I opted out not to do chemotherapy, and I was cleared for a year. The plus out of that was I started to explore. I unfortunately went to the Google and explored for natural solutions and how to cure cancer, help keep cancer away. I found everything from these fruits, that fruits. And then eventually I came across a good friend of mine out in California, Drew Canoli. I got started on juicing. And it's like, well, I think I could do some juicing. So I started on this juicing thing, and it made me feel really good. Some of the juices taste like crap because, like kale juice tastes pretty nasty on its own. So, but then it led me to learn about the gut. I did some more research and learned about gut health. Went to PubMed, looked at some of the articles there, and it got me on this journey about learning about my body and how beautiful the body is when we give it the right tools for healing. So, AKA nutrition. So then a year went by, and right to the day, I don't know how the universe works, but in May of 2014, May in 2013, that was the first cancer. May of 2014, I get this excruciating pain, like somebody was stabbing me in the back. Long story short, they found an apple-sized tumor hitting my vagus nerve mid-gut, and my world turned upside down again. So more stress, more craziness, being worried. And it was bad enough that the first cancer cost me, even with insurance, thousands of dollars. Now I had to go through a summer's worth of chemotherapy, 8 hours a day of chemotherapy, a slow drip, 3 different drugs. And I'm thinking, what am I going to do when I lose my hair? Sorry, Jeff, you got a beautiful bald head. But, even as a man, granted, the ladies, they have a traumatic experience when they lose their hair because they identify with that hair and makeup and that kind of stuff. I remember when I was sitting with my husband watching a movie, and what it felt like was my scalp started to tingle, and I knew it was from the chemotherapy. I was halfway through, about 3 weeks into chemotherapy, and I went like this, and then chunks of hair came out. I was like, shit. So I told my husband, it's like, you know what? Let's go to the bathroom. You're going to shave my fucking head and get rid of that hair, because I'm not going to deal with looking like a chemo patient. I mean, it was tough. I mean, that first probably week with a bald head was just really tough. And during this time too, I started going on to Facebook and connecting with different groups with testicular cancer and cancer groups. And some of the things that got me scared was seeing some of these other men. There was other men that would share their diagnosis with their family or with their wives, and their family members or their wives would leave them. They would disown them, thinking that they could catch cancer from them. I was like, oh my God. It's like, I don't want to go through that. And I actually kind of had a, not a similar story, but going through at the cancer center, you would think family is strong like blood. Well, unfortunately, my mother, my sister, they never visited me when I was going through treatment at the cancer center. Not one time, and I was really heartbroken. Trying not to cry on you guys, but that was tough. It was really tough. What the people that really came through for me were my husband and my colleagues, my flight attendant friends at the airline job. They really came through me. They came to see me at the cancer care center, but it was tough, and I'm thankful that I had a tight-knit group of friends that supported me through that craziness, because it is craziness. And long story short, from all of it, when a person's going through cancer, and if you got somebody in your life that is going through cancer, support them the best that you can, and just talk it out, listen to them, offer, your help, like, hey, can I do your laundry? Or, hey, let me cook for you, and that kind of stuff. But the way I look at it too, from all that, I got kind of created a slogan. It's called Love, Laugh, Thrive. So through that craziness in life there, I really learned how to love myself, love my body, treat my body as I should, with the right nutrition, with mindset. I mean, real quickly too, when I went to the cancer center, I remember people going in, the older gals, they would go in there and they would say out loud, verbally, I'm here for my poison. And I was thinking, it's like, no, you don't want to say that. So I went in there and I said, I'm here for my healing. And I would actually place my hands on the chemotherapy and envision the drug, the chemotherapy, healing my body. And then speed it up to the last 6 months of treatment. And with testicular cancer, the protocol is, once the chemotherapy is done, they do I can never remember the full name, but basically they, I call it, they fillet your abdomen, they fillet your gut open. So they cut you open, they open up your gut, take out the intestinal tract, and they take out the leftover tumors. That's what usually should happen with that kind of treatment. But thankfully, with all my good nutrition, doing alternative therapies, biomat, far infrared, gut support, and that kind of stuff, the tumor that I had completely disappeared. I didn't have to be filleted open, which was like, thank you, because it was the post side effects of that kind of surgery. My intestinal tract, my digestive tract would have been completely screwed up. So, but then recently too, I got led into meeting Jeffrey through Facebook. Through, I can't remember exactly how I found him, but still in the search for. I was actually in search. I'm 50 years young, but I got a little bit of a dad bod, so I've gained a little weight. So I was looking for solutions for, losing some weight. It's like, what's a quick fix? And I know there's no quick fix. Obviously, it takes some hard work and stuff like that. And I found Jeffrey with the mental wellness company here, and I love it. I mean, and then recently too, I just did I got diagnosed type 2 diabetes, borderline diabetic. And I just did my A1C test, and it went down 2 points, which is pretty awesome. So, yeah. So that's the long story short. I would love to share more. Hopefully we have another time to share more about men's wellness, especially with cancer, testicular cancer. I think it's such a taboo subject out there, especially young men. Testicular cancer hits guys from 15 all the way up to 45 now, and the younger men, unfortunately, don't want to talk about it because they're young, they're teenagers or whatever. So oftentimes they'll find out about it, usually from a sport injury, and then they go to the doctor and they find out that they have cancer. So there you go. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Steve. That was so inspirational to hear. It's awesome to hear that you didn't have to be flayed open. Way to go. So, how do I follow 3 very, very, very inspirational stories, especially one about testicular cancer? I don't think you can beat that. I think you guys would agree with me. So, just for as long as I can remember, I have been overweight and battling, obesity for, again, just as long as I can really remember. And this kind of all started, when I was younger, going through school. Maybe hard to believe, but I think I am pretty much the youngest one here. um, but yeah, just you were gonna say something, Jeff? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, rub it in, Billy.
Sorry,
You're good. You're good. And I'm the oldest.
Uh-huh. But just growing up and going through school, I was never really truly active as I really should have been, and I was just prone to eating and drinking all of that, for lack of a better term, processed shit. Yes, processed shit. um, and just really drinking all of the big name sodas and energy drinks. Of course, we all know those are going to be loaded with sugar, addictive as hell. We all know that. And I really wasn't as active as I should have been. I did play sports growing up, in going through school. That was pretty much the extent of my exercise. As I did get older, and especially into my later high school years and going into college, excuse me, I did pick up on the physical activity a little bit. Again, it wasn't to the point where, or it wasn't at the level that it really should have been. And of course, couple of the lack of exercise with eating all of the junk food and drinking all of the processed sugar and sodas, that obviously is going to lead to gaining weight and putting on much more weight than is really considered healthy for someone of my age, my height, my body type. And it wasn't until a very, very good friend of mine, who is obviously not on this call, introduced me to the mental wellness company and the gut brain access. And just let me take a little side note. Obviously, being overweight, I wasn't exactly sleeping as well as I should have been. Like, I would get up, multiple times per night, and again, I just felt like I wasn't really getting, like a real deep restful sleep. And going up through my high school and college years, I did obviously start picking up on the exercise and the physical activity for a bit, and but I was still craving all that processed crap, which really isn't good for you. And it wasn't until this friend of mine introduced me to the mental wellness company and the gut brain access that I felt like this could really help me not only sleep better, but possibly take the weight off. And to make a long story short here, while the number on the scale has gone up a little bit, which still kind of irritates me to a point, but my point is the number on the scale really isn't the end all be all. What I found in the 2+ years from being on this product, my energy levels have gone way up. I'm sleeping better. I'm a hell of a lot more alert. And with one of the newer products that the mental wellness company has launched earlier this year, actually, my clothes are really starting to slowly but surely fit better. And again, that number on the scale really isn't the end all be all. Yes, that only gives you one number, or tells you one thing. That is how much you weigh. But as I said, that is not the end all be all. How you truly feel is on the inside, and how you feel on the inside. How you're sleeping, your energy levels, and just everything else that really truly makes up a human being, if you know what I mean. So that will wrap it up. We are over time, unfortunately. So, real quickly, guys, do you guys have any last minute last minute words of advice for our viewers? Jeff, we'll start with you, then go to Mike.
Sure. Thanks, Billy. Thanks, everybody. Great stories. And the biggest thing that I have been sharing on with viewers in other podcasts and interviews is keep your options open. This is so important because too many of us, I was at one point, we stay in our comfort zone and we're really comfortable in there. And we don't want to step out of that because we're afraid. I was afraid for years, but I got to the point where I had to step out of my comfort zone to get information. The idea here is get information so you can be informed, because there is a lot of information out there that you're not privy to because of depending on where you're looking. All right. And you need to have both sides of the story, and nothing to knock away from Western medicine. It has its time, it has its place. It's not the end all be all. So keep your options open, get information so you can make an educated decision from that information. So that's the nugget that I'd like to share tonight. Thank you.
Yeah. So, I guess what I'd like to say is just, if you're not feeling right, if you're not feeling like yourself, if you're feeling down, whatever it is, just reach out to somebody, just talk to people. Start with that. That's the biggest step, is just recognizing that you're not feeling like yourself and that you need to make change. And then the next thing is do your research. Like Jeff said, be open, learn about the new options that are coming out, because it's not all about pharmaceutical anymore. It's not all about popping pills to just make you feel better temporarily so you wake up tomorrow and need to pop more pills. There's solutions available to us now that can change things from the root and really work to make a difference. So I just encourage you, just do your research. There's some amazing books out there, like the Mind Gut Connection by Dr. Emran Meyer is an amazing book to really dive in. It is very in depth, but it can really open your eyes to how ancient wisdom is actually being tied together with modern science to make a massive change in people's lives. And I encourage you, just don't suffer in silence. Don't follow the suck it up buttercup mentality, because I can tell you it doesn't work.
Oh, okay, there we go. All right, yeah. Hey, I just want to, I kind of just follow with Jeff and Mike on that. Just talk it out. I mean, I gotta say, I'm an introvert, and yeah, there were times where I was just afraid of what other people think. Who freaking cares what other people think? You know what? Just take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to take care of, if you got a family, if you got a wife, husband, cats, dogs, whatever, you're not going to be able to take care of them. So you got to take care of yourself first. Hence why love yourself fast. Love yourself fast. Well, you could love yourself fast, but love yourself first. Laugh at the crazy shit, because I believe in laughter is probably one of the best things. It's best medicine out there. And then you'll thrive. You'll thrive through life. And don't be afraid to connect with other men. via through, Facebook, outside of work and stuff like that. And just be conscious. And lastly, be conscious of your own language. Tell yourself, we are our worst, I guess, self-critics and stuff like that, negative talk to our own selves. Look at your own language too. And if your language is negative to yourself, shift that and say simple things. You know what? I love myself. I'm gratitude, love, thank you. So there you go. Thank you.
Well, thank you guys so much. I certainly got value out of this, out of hearing all three of your stories. And to our viewers, if you got value from this video, please go ahead and drop value down in the comments. And again, if you have found value, or if you know of someone who could get value from this video in hearing all of our stories, please go ahead and click that share button. And until next time, take care, everyone.